Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 43 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys had a great weekend, a great week. It is now spring. It's been spring for a while, but it is so cold here. It is in the 40s. The weather's all over the place. I hope you're enjoying some warm spring weather. Maybe it'll be warm when this episode airs. We're definitely enjoying spring, even though it's a little chilly. My son is in soccer, and I love watching him play soccer. It is so much fun for me, and he has so much fun. He's also in swimming, so watching him learn how to swim is enjoyable as well. Lots of fun. He's enjoying kindergarten, which is so great. I was nervous and scared for him as he was entering a new building and school, but he's doing so well, which is great. So things are going well. I hope they are for you as well. All right, so today we're going to talk about living in and. So living in the land of and instead of or. We're going to talk about embracing the paradox within you instead of absolutes or instead of rigid labels. We're going to talk about being both a good and a bad mom or wife or boss or employee or friend or daughter, etc. Now, what is a paradox? Well, the definition of a paradox is a situation, person, or thing that combines contradictory features or qualities. So living in and simply means not trying to fit into a rigid role, but instead finding the truth in the two contradictory labels. You are human, and as humans, we're never just one thing. As a human, you are living in a paradox, and embracing this can set you free. As a human, you have contradictory features and qualities of maybe being both good and bad, right? As humans, that exists within us. All right, so that's what it is. Let's look at how embracing your own paradoxes and letting go of absolutes that you may have for yourself can help you show up as more of the person that you want to be. How can this help you, right? How can this benefit you? Let's look at that. So, for example, if you think the thought, I need to be a good spouse, or I need to be a good mom. Now, this thought, let's look at how this plays out for you when you think this. What experience do you create for yourself when you're trying to fit into this rigid role of being a good spouse or a good mom? So when you have the thought, I need to be a good spouse or I need to be a good mom, you may feel pressure. That could be a possible feeling you have when you think this. And when you feel pressure, when you think, I need to be a good spouse or I need to be a good mom, how might you act? How might you behave when you're feeling that pressure? Maybe you're less present with your family. Maybe you're focused on yourself. You're judging yourself. You're critical of yourself. You're putting yourself down. You're less engaged with those around you. Maybe you have negative self-talk. And as a result, you are being the exact opposite of what you desire. So when trying to fit into this rigid role of being a good mom or a good wife or spouse, you aren't allowing yourself to be you, which includes both good and bad. It includes a paradox. And instead, you probably don't show up as your best self when you don't embrace this paradox. We are never one thing. We are not absolute. As humans, we're not absolute. We don't always show up perfectly as humans. As we explored, wanting to be the best mom always, wanting to be the best wife always, and striving for that perfection, striving for that absolute, usually will create suffering because this probably won't happen, right? Like, you can't always be the best. There's good and there's bad. There's a paradox. So now let's look at how embracing your human paradox of those contradictory features or qualities will set you free and allow you to show up as more of who you want to be. How can this benefit you? So let's say you have the thought, I am both a good and a bad mom or wife. And when you think this thought, you may have a feeling of acceptance or maybe even love, self-love. When you can truly embrace yourself, all of you, dropping into love comes so much more easily. You can love the good and the bad. You can love both. You can love your full self, your humanness, the paradox within you. And from this acceptance or love, when you're thinking, I am both a good and a bad mom or wife, from this acceptance or love, you may act or behave by being present with your family, not judging yourself, not criticizing yourself. You may enjoy the time with your family more. You may have positive self-talk instead of negative self-talk. And you may be more engaging with your family, right? When you're feeling acceptance and when you're feeling love. And as a result, you are showing up as the mom and wife that you want to be. When you embrace your humanness and you welcome that paradox, and you're not striving for absolutes, you are benefiting yourself and potentially benefiting others as well around you. When you live in your paradox, you are owning that you are both good and bad. You are both a good and a bad mom. You can find the truth in both at times, and that's okay. You are both a good and a bad wife. Both are true at times, and that's okay. You are both a good and a bad friend. Both are true at times, and that is okay. So on and so forth. So if we can find the truth and find the love in the middle ground of being both good and bad, in the middle ground of and instead of or, then we aren't suffering from trying to be something that is unattainable, trying to be that absolute, trying to have that rigid label of being all good. We are never one specific thing all of the time. So aiming for impossibilities sets us up for suffering. Perfection is impossible. So aiming for perfectly imperfect, embracing the paradox, and not striving for absolutes or this rigid label is what I suggest. It will set you free. Now, how do we implement this? How do we use this in our lives? Well, be curious. Let yourself find the truth in the opposites. So maybe go to the place where sometimes I'm the best mom and sometimes I'm not. I can find the evidence for both when I allow my brain to search for it. And so can you. Sometimes I'm a great spouse, and sometimes I'm not. I can find the evidence for both when I allow my brain to search for it. Sometimes I'm a good friend, and sometimes I'm not. I can find the evidence for both when I allow my brain to search for it. When you can see and accept where you are as being sometimes good and sometimes bad, you can drop the guilt or regret or shame. You can drop these feelings for your past self. And you can drop the pressure you put on your future self. You don't have to feel these feelings. You can feel acceptance and love when you own your paradox, when you love your paradox, when you embrace being both good and bad. It is okay that you aren't always the best and the greatest. No one is. We are all human. So give yourself this gift and ask yourself, are you sometimes not the best mom, spouse, friend, boss, employee, daughter, etc.? Are you sometimes the best mom, spouse, friend, boss, employee, daughter, etc.? Now you don't have to suffer with guilt or regret or shame or pressure or judgment of yourself. When you can drop in to the and, to the paradox. You are both, and that's okay. You are embracing your human paradox. And this can set you free, benefit you, and allow you to show up as more of the person that you want to be. So love yourself, all of you. The good and the bad. The paradox of being human. Love your humanness. I promise you, not striving for that perfection, that being the best mom or the best spouse, or I need to be a good mom and a good spouse. When you're not striving for that, you're dropping in to the realness, to your humanness. You're dropping into that paradox and you're embracing it. And you're giving yourself that compassion, that love for all of you. So try it out if you want, right? this is all just suggestions. So if something doesn't sit well with you, don't do it. And if you do want to take this further, if you do want to explore all these topics further, and you want to take your relationship to that next level, you want to have a connected, loving, happy, thriving marriage, and you want to move away from feeling frustrated and defeated and at a loss, reach out. Sign up for a 20-minute free chat. We can coach on anything you want to coach on, solve any problem, and see if you're a good fit for my program. I'm only taking 5 people at the moment, so if you're interested, head on over to whitneywellscoaching.com, schedule a free coaching session, and we can chat. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you're interested, simply head over to whitneywellscoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.